King Selassie, Rastafari. Yes, my Lord and Empress, Prince and Princess, you know. Give thanks for our blessed day. Give thanks for another life, health, and strength, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Coming togetherness in one love and unity. I am Honorable Prophet Muambe Benito Acosta, Royal Ambassador of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress, True Church of Divine Salvation, with our worthy founder, our leader, our president, our God, and our King, the Right Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edward, Holy Emmanuel I Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, Blessed Spirit of Truth, Royal Trinity and power with us, with our King of Kings and Lord of Lords, conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah, the elect of God, the light of this world, His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I, whose name is Power of the Trinity, Holy King Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Give thanks to our blessed prophet, the one that came with the vision for all black people upon the face of the earth to come and love ourselves in righteousness of salvation. John Marcus Messiah Garvey I, King Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Holy Trinity would not be fulfilled if it wasn't for their mothers. They came all from a mother. Give thanks for Empress Menen, the mother of creation. The three come out of one. Give thanks for the three in one and the one in three. Holy Empress Menen I, King Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari, my lords and emperors, prince and princess. So the Bobo Shanti people praise Empress as a goddess. King Emmanuel said, put the empresses them in front, you know. And now this is the work of fulfilling that, you know. To give thanks for such mandate, give thanks to such angels that have come to such mandate, that have come to fulfill such mandate as this hour. Holy King Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari, glory be unto our Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy One of creation. As Jah was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, Jah world without end, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari, for behold how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in one love and unity. It is as a precious ointment that's upon the head that went down the beard, even Aaron's beard that went down to the skirt of his garment. And the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mighty mountain of Zion. For there our Lord commanded the blessing, even life and love forevermore, Most High King Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, my lords and emperors, prince and princess. Oh, how soothing. Tea time. We have lemongrass again this morning, you know, for tea time, you know, as we are, you know, fighting the pollen season. You know, this pollen season is very serious up here in these Midwest countries, you know, when it's time for the weather to begin to change, you know, you have to prepare yourself, you know, build up your immune system, you know, and try to cover yourself as much as possible from pollen environment, you know. I am a sneezy and a nose twitcher, so you're gonna see, you see me always like, yeah, touching my nose, and it's because I have this huge tree that I started chopping yesterday, and it's right outside of my window, you know, and the thing is that is the arm of it is right coming, you know, like it's like, my lord, if you don't do something about me, I'm going to do something about you. So I decided to do something about it. And because today is dark moon, and yesterday was the full dark moon, and that's why we started hitting it Today we're going to bring it down as much as possible. Hopefully we bring it down all the way. The section that we want to bring down. Because if I bring down this whole tree, my empress is going to be very, very sad. I don't want to make her very sad. And, you know, the tree has been home for a lot of birdies and things, you know, so if you could hear them, it's like they're talking to me right now. You know, but okay. Um, I'm sorry, I have to do this. And because this is in a 1 hour, you know, meditation, we have to flow through, no editing vibes. You know, so please excuse me. I might container right here. See that? Yeah, so, you know, everything is copacetic. You know, and yeah, yeah, you know, hygiene. Because we fighting bugs, man. We fighting bugs. You know, spiritual warfare in high and low places. So we're gonna be, you know, at peace in the land of our captivity. You know, Jeremiah 29 tells us, move through at peace in the land of our captivity. Today's fasting and prayer day within Babylon. Well, within our culture in the Babylonian, you know, captivity. You know, fasting and prayer. You know, from 12 midnight to 12 midday, you know, we fast, you know, we're all whites and we have fasting service, you know. So we give thanks to the angels on the hill, you know, our Ethiopia, Africa Black International Congress, something with our word black, you know, we're going to work on it later, you know, Church of Divine Salvation, you know, on the hill at 10 miles Bull Bay, you know, rising up these services continually, you know, give thanks to all the royal angels, you know, faithfully moving through, you know, fulfilling the Lord's service, ministering to the people, you know, and fulfilling our creed. You know, blessings to us, the humble be fed, the naked clothed, the sick nourished, the aged protected, and the infants cared for. Let us continuously work towards those aim and objectives until we cleanse everyone, bring everyone to the prince and princess status, and let us come out of Egypt, so Ethiopia can stretch forth our hand unto I and I, their children, Most High, King Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, coming home, you know. So my Lord and Empress, you know, who is Honorable Prophet Muhammad Benito Acosta? So this is tea time, you know. Testimonial time. And you know, I just hit the testimonial chalice. You know, and I'm not practicing it, doing it online like that. You know, because the conditions that we are right now, we need to be wise, you know, and be respectful still. You know, because the laws of the land do not permit us to freely move through, although we are working at that very, very diligently. Because as a priesthood order and as a government, you know, we should have diplomatic immunity from these type of persecutions over our sacrament, you know. So time is gonna bring it up, you know, because God has brought a merciful and peculiar people to the world stage, you know, which is the Bobo Shanti people. You know, the Bobo Shanti people now is the warriors of spiritual and you know, temporal, you know, balance. You know, so they come to bring the balance to the African race that they've been um, made out of balance from, you know, which is their natural self. I just kind of, you know, kind of make that up there, but, you know, you are with me, right? You know, this is what the Bobo Ashantiada represent. Now that was my search. You know, my search was to find the purpose of this life. What was this purpose for? What happened here? What am I here for? Why was I born? What was I born to? You know, what happened? You know, so that evolution has brought me here, you know, and seeing the whole, uh, well, the whole journey, seeing the whole journey, it's kind of like something somebody made up, you know, after analyzing the whole thing, because family, what brought me to this culture, what brought me to seeking for God in the first place, because I didn't know it was going to be a Rastafari culture. I always said, if 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 the Vatican held the truth, I would be a Catholic priest. That has always been my testimony, you know, and because that was a vigorous, you know, the zealous spirit, you know, that woke me to know that there's a God, you know, because yeah, I made some mistakes. I made some big mistakes in my life, you know, and even though you apologize for your mistakes, you know, it doesn't mean that the judgment of those mistakes are nullified. And this is the understanding everyone have to really know about this liberty. Probably it's like that in other cultures, you know, cause it deals, it's karma, you know. So when you do wrong, wrong comes back, right? You do right, right comes, right? You know, and sometimes you do right and then wrong comes and you want to know why, because you ain't really researching your karma. And then you go into the scripture where, oh, that person was born like that, and then you try to see this karmatic judgment, right, that once tried to put on families through generations, through reincarnation, right? You see, so now regeneration, right? You know, so here it is now. I'm coming to an awakening of my spirituality through a motorcycle accident. A motorcycle accident, you know. Before this, I didn't know anything about Rastafari. Well, I can't say that. I grew around the Rastafari culture. I, you know, listened to all our music. I was into it. But then I was into the world music too. I was into the top 40s, Casey Kasem on Sundays, yeah. You know, I was into the world like that. I was like, because that was what was running things. You know, so I was seeing what was running things. You know, and always trying to focus on things that are going to make me more sharper to not only help, you know, but also be able to participate, you know. Because fame has never been a thing that I, you know, aimed to pursue, you know. You know, it was just wanted to be a part of, you know, ones and ones, you know, and just being a part of the team, you know, and that's what it's always been, you know. Unfortunately, I messed up my first team, you know, which was my brothers and my sister, you know. The first team, I didn't see that first team, because you usually don't see your own family as a team, you know, especially then, you know. You know, everybody, you know, they become is a chore for an elder. You know, for me, it was a very steady chore to take care of things, to be the help, to be the protector, you know. And you know what? I don't remember, I don't remember resenting that, you know. I remember getting up early to go and buy bread up the road in Princess Project, as my mom used to let me go and jog, go get the bread, you know, come back, wash the car, move the car, you know, because I was allowed to move the car back and forth. I would move the car back and forth, you know, to learn, you know, how to how to drive, you know. My mother gave ambience, but I think we might want to get a little silence right now, right? Maybe that could work right now. So let's do that. Let's get a little silent and let's listen to the stories, you know. So yeah, so that was a freedom, and that was a great freedom, to move through and still keep doing the things that, you know, uh, 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 we like doing, and even though we was cooped up in our apartment for most our days in the beginning, because we was raised in the beginning, we was raised in a tight situation, because mom was going through a divorce, and at that time I was 8 years old, and there was such darkness, you know, happening in them days, that to come out of them, you know, the way we've come out of them, it's understandable, because sometimes a warrior spirit, like ours, because our family is a family of warriors. My father and uncle both served in the Vietnam War, and my uncle was injured, burnt, for a majority of his body, and was sent home 2 weeks in combat. My father, because of the rule not to have all siblings in combat, my father had a more uh, infrastructure job. He dealt with telephony, and was part of the telecommunication build up within the field, and headquarters and such. So that was that's a serious spirit. You know, my uncle, so vicious. So he gets burnt, and then he becomes a firefighter and retires a fireman. Go figure, right? So that's the spirit in our family. That spirit of fighters. You know, Unfortunately, my father took the fight to mom, and we witnessed that as youth. And that couldn't go. So it had to change. And in changing, well, we had divorce and the whole realm of ah, you know, single mommy with 4 children, struggling, 8 years old, 6 years old, 5 year old, 2 year old. Yeah, yeah. 20 something. Young empress, divorced with 4 youths, you know. So what kind of roller coaster you gonna have now? Because now, is dad gonna really leave such a precious cargo behind, or is he going to, you know, uh, run up the road? So at least he tried a couple times to come back and, you know, mend things, and they tried. Because I know, I experienced it, went through it, I went the trying period, and it always got, you know, really, really not good. So really not getting good, you start to see that children them are being impacted, you know. Then now I'm getting a more sense of protection. So I'm getting a more sense of understanding what mom needs, you know, and so I become that strength, to help, you know, and at the same time, you know, you're going through that because you're a child, and you're being exposed to certain situations that you have no idea, you know, these situations are corrupt, you know, and we all know these situations. We're not gonna get into none of them, you know. because they all is what have led, the whole earth to be out of course. The wantonness of the wall, has totally gone out of course. So, that said, we focus on our talents, and the things them that everybody wanted us to do, specifically education and sports. That was a thing. And my hobby was reading. I love to read. I love martial arts. I love the sense of, you know, the hero sense. Every Saturday we used to go to the Alexander matinee in Christiansted. Anybody who knows about that, knows, the kind of spirit that we used to carry in those times. And then we used to go to school and act it out. We used to act out, these martial art encounters and gang fights and things like that. And good fun too. Third, fourth grade. Into fourth grade to me, I don't know, really, but I could if we sit down, write down, and put down, and it will come day one day. So here it is. From that time, that sense of freedom was there, but we had to move to confine. It wasn't until after I was 13 years old, we moved, 12, 13, we moved into our own house in a community of Tamarind Estate in Hamburg, the Hamburg area, south side, going to south side of the island. Very beautiful, quiet neighborhood. I think we have an empty lot to this day right there. Because the spirit of truth has to be warred against the spirit of evil, so, it's a balance. You have to see the skid marks, battle scars, ruins, so, here we go. Testimony. I met some brethren in those days in Tamarind Estate, and we became very close. You know, Kenny, Mr. Kenneth Cowart, Case, yes, my friend. You know, we experienced a lot. Yeah. Kenny introduced me to the wall and how the wall is out here, really and truly, and put me into, really the sense of the wall, you know, and having that sense with the other brethren, and then having the ambition of sports, because sports was really a thing that I dove into. I love that unity, aspect, and to be able to have an ally in that was a very good thing for me, coming out of the projects where we didn't have that freedom to have friends and go out, and that was later too, because we used to go out and play when my father and my mother was working things out, and we were in this project named Harbor View, and then kind of things exploded, from there too, and domestic violence is a serious affair, family. You know, uh, you know, being 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 an aggressor in a position where you have the complete power is weakness. Within a man. If you can't bring an idea, a concept through peaceful word sound, then walk away, star. Walk away. Given in some situations, some empresses, and so you can't walk away from, but my lads, I don't put the item in them situation, and you have to know. Okay, digress, let's go. That unity that we built there in Tamarind Estate and Hamburg, majestic. You know, it created the group called Windbreakers, a break dance group. So outside of baseball, you know, break dancing became, uh, you know, a love. You know, because we was also diving before the breakdance crave really came in the 80s, early 80s, 83, 84, 85, right? You know, it was all about, you know, um, violence and difference, ones and ones or fighting one another for craziness, things that happen in the, I mean, and then this breakdancing thing comes in now, and then you know, we practice gymnastics. Yeah, well, I love gymnastics because it was part of the martial arts, you know, arsenal, you know. So we could put that to dance. That was, and then now it's in the Olympics. Magic, what you saying? You get a team ready for the? You ain't got a team ready for the Olympics, my lad. So Magic is Mikey, you know. He's in Miguel Cruz, my cousin in US Virgin Islands. VI, big up, my lords and empress. Yeah. Sila, Selassie, maybe I should have some editing. A group the breakdancing group really made an impact in my life as far as what a team can accomplish. You know, it made an impression that to this day I've been searching for within this culture. You know, and I finally found it. You know, and you know it's been there for a long time too. You know, it's just trials and tribulation, you know, because we have to mature in the culture. You know, everybody is a part of the goodie. You know, every one of us is a member of the goodie. So we have to show a type of resilience, right? You know, a type of perseverance that is going to show in the test of time, you know, that you belong here, you know, that the Lord made the right choice in calling you. Because many are called, a few are chosen, you know. And when you're chosen, yeah, you have to fulfill what you've been chosen to fulfill. Is a vow, you know. So, yes, family, we're going to go into that vow, you know, and the reality of that vow, you know, because when I got called to this, the breakdancing era was already finished too, and I was looking to join the military out of high school, and I failed the test. I told my friends that I had passed the test, and I decided not to go. I decided to go to school instead, and blah 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 blah, whole story. So. But then the story became real in me, you know, because it was like, hey, I got my corporal certificate as a cadet. I can get my degree in fine arts, go try again for the ASVAB, get my instead of going in as a I would then go to officer school because as when you have your degree you can go into officer school and train for officers, you know. And so that was the idea, you know, to do that. And so tried it, went to college, you know. That didn't work really because it was very expensive and we didn't have the collateral to make that move, you know. So we had to drop that, you know. And I wasn't very focused, you know, to say the least. I should have been very focused, and I wasn't, you the distraction of, just being in this new world and making sense now at a lot of the things that my brethren and I experienced, things that we saw on TV, uh, and it was like, whoa, real shock, you know. It really shows it shows what you built of. And so in that, in that meditation right there, grew something very profound, was the understanding of what did I want from life, what was my purpose, you know. So building, in California, in Oakland, I would run from, what was it, Broadway to the beginning of Broadway down to Berkeley and back. That was my little trek. I don't know how long I was doing that for, but I was there for, a year, 2 semesters. And then I didn't go back. I came back in 88, graduated 86, went from 87 to 88, and then I didn't go back. So that's 2 semesters, so not even 1 year, you know. Yeah, the finances was very heavy in art school, so we had to drop that. Came home, got into Caribbean printing, Caribbean printing, Caribbean printing, yes. Printery. Got a job there and started working as, in the back, in the mill, back, fun, and it brought me up to the art department, and that was fun, and then I went crazy and got a motorcycle. And the idea was to come, because when the money got, hard, the idea was to come back home, pick up on the money thing now that I knew, what I needed to do. And then return to school, finish the school out, you know. Excuse me, I gotta turn off this heat. Saying 1 hour, no edit. So that was, that was the idea, you know, get this degree, go into military school, go in as a officer. Came home, got a job, as a printer. Me and my brethren got an apartment. We were playing La Vida Loca. He had his little car. We went and got motorcycles. And that was the beginning of the end of my life. Because 6 months after that, it was atrocious, to say the least. And it was atrocious in a good way, because the Lord he brings us out of great tribulation. I'm just, oh my God, it's last night. Rastafari. See how that came out like that? If he wasn't fasting, a bunch more other stuff would come out. Give thanks for the fasting and prayer, my Lord and Empress, mighty Redeemer, a redeeming power, came and saved our souls from death and hell, to bring us back to remembrance of his glorious kingdom. Holy Manolai, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, my lords and emperors, prince and princess. Yes, we got 15 minutes to wrap it up. So, this is the hour, yeah, personal hour, right? Don't drop the personal, because we still got the Congress hour, our development. Testimonial, you know, and that is, yeah, we're gonna take a pause for the cars for that, you know, but right now is a personal, because the personal is serious, you know. Now, things didn't work out with the art vibes, and so me and the brethren, you know, the idea was to have our own business and, you know, do artwork, and you know, something happened. I don't know what happened. Didn't work out. You know, so he decides he's leaving. He's gonna sell his bike. You know, I'm like, what? Okay. Now my lad sells his bike, and the person that came to buy his bike, Bentix, West Side King. His family owned the same theater in Times Square right there. You know, we used to go and see all these karate movies every Saturday. Matinee karate movies. Ah, popcorn, jump up crazy. Ah, it was amazing. Yeah, Bentix come with 5 grand cash in my land. Boom. I said, what? It was Monday. Bentix came for my bike, because my bike was prettier. It was a nice dark charcoal, and you know, yeah, they were the same bikes. It's just mine was charcoal and his was red and white. You know, Hurricane, Honda Hurricane. We were crazy on these things. We had a little crew of us that used to go out every Sunday and just go maniac and just go crazy on the island. I'm ashamed at how many people we might have scared the oh my goodness, out of them. So, yeah, these motorcycles and us riding around this place, you know, it had to come to an end. So he sold his. When I saw how much he sold his for, I was like, hey, I could sell mine too. You know, get a cheaper apartment, and yeah, okay, I'll continue doing this thing. You know, and so that was a met. I told him straight up, okay, leave, leave the thing in the newspaper. You know, I'm gonna sell mine. I'm selling mine too. You know. So when the next day now, you know, came home from work, and sure enough, there's a vision, because now the Lord have now to let me know something. You know, so came home from work. I don't know, man. I don't know if we smoked and drink and smoke. I don't know what it was. I was tired, and I don't think I had anything to drink yet. I don't know, man. Those are the Heineken days and stuff, you know. And well, I passed out on the couch. When I passed out on the couch, I had this vision that I fell around the corner on the motorcycle. And I jumped out of the vision. And my brethren said, hey man, what happened? You know, I'm like, man, what's going on? Kenny was right there. Like, Kenny, I just fall off the bike, going around the corner. Okay. So, wow. That kind of shocked me. Alright? Okay. You know, the next day, so the Monday, sell the bike. The Tuesday, I got this vision. The Wednesday now, we go through the day, normal day, meds, you know, I don't even know. I don't even know what really was the meditation. All I know is that we got a call that our brethren was in the hospital. KC. You know, one of our riders, you know, same kind of bike that I had, he had, you know, and the sound was that he busted through a horse going at 110 miles an hour in the same road that I frequent, that same type of speed sometimes, at around the same type, you know, of time, which was like 1, 2 in the morning, something like that. And as he's going through, a horse pops up and he goes right between the hind legs and the stomach and splits it in half. You know, I could just see the front of that bike just caving in, and as that impact kept him on, because it was like a bullet going through this thing, right? And he was able to stay on and just broke 2 wrists and ended up dropping some, I don't know how many hundreds of feet from the impact. And one of a minibus picked him up and dropped him off at the local, at the emergency room, you know. And we were called and we were there the next day, you know. Brethren, Kenny picked up. My brethren Shelton Jarvis and 3 of we now going to check Kenny out, Casey out, you know. And I'm freaking out in the car. Where's the man? And the man was like, the man stop freaking out, the man, everything alright. I saw my brethren them like actually like surprised at me acting like a wuss. I would have been surprised too. I wasn't a wuss, I was the leader of the pack. But not really, you know what I mean? Kind of like the leader make everybody leader vibes, you know? Yeah. That man could have talked to me like this stupid and it wasn't a big deal. Cause what you gonna do anyway? Alright. So, testimony man. Let's go. When we put it, you know, in perspective, the sequence of things after that, you know, the shock, you know, of seeing a vision and then this thing happening so brutal and for nothing to happen to, okay, come on man, broken wrist, 110 miles an hour, busting through a horse, splitting it in half. Yeah, that was a shock. Cause then then what happened now? This whole thing now got me now. It got me from the vision, you know, but remember the first thing, you know, don't decide we're gonna sell the bike. Okay? So now, the good Lord in his wisdom within me said, leave the bike, walk to work the next day. You know? Because now this is a Thursday. We just came from visiting our brethren KC in the hospital, and man, yeah, Casey was hot. He was road rash, you know. Yeah, he was hurt. And, well, I was shocked. I couldn't believe that. I was like, Virgin, I got this vision. Then, the Lord said, walk to work. And so, I told my brethren, hey, son Kenny, I walk into work with him. Now, please, I want everyone to understand this. In my life, Kenny, I want you to understand this. I never blame you for none of this. And I think that I told you that the last time that we talked, seriously, all them years ago, which it kind of felt like I couldn't get a word in, right? Like I talked the whole, you know, conversation. I remember because you made a comment about it. King man, I never blame you for that, you know. I made my own decision to go on the bike, you know. You see? And this is the thing, you know. We value one another like that. You know, I valued the encouragement of my brethren because I would have done the same thing if I saw my brethren quaking. But then I think about it, would I have done the same thing? Or would I have walked with him to would I have said, you know what? Brethren freaking out, man. You know what, my lad, can't let we walk. I wouldn't have said my lad. I would probably have said, you know what, yeah man, let me go get some fresh air. Bob, let we go. Walk, yes. Because something traumatic happened, right? Thing is something that so you just throw to the side and thing, but that's how we grow up. You know, we grew up making light of heavy things, man. Heavy, heavy things. You know, things that as adults hold us down, man. How heavy it is. Hold us like iron, right? We all know this, you know. So jump on the bike, you know. He needed a ride to work. He's like, look, need a ride to work. I go down by the bike, I turn it on, I'm warming it up. I'm like, you're not gonna throw me out, right? You're not gonna throw me out. What am I doing talking to a machine? What am I doing talking to a machine? So, get on the bike, go to work. I get an assignment to go and talk to a customer and get some type of uh, what was it? It was a logo of some sort. It was a lawyer. I forgot his name. But yeah, it was pretty far. Now, the Most High told me, ask my cousin for the keys. She's the receptionist. I can't find my other glove now. She's a receptionist. And uh, my ego says, because I'm already hyped up, right? My ego says, nah, man, you're going to be alright. Go ahead, man. I'm dressed up too, you know. Oh, I've got my silk pants, my silk shirt. I've got my little briefcase, my leather portfolio, small little leather portfolio. Yeah, I dropped that on the bike. I went up the road like I'm some Tom Cruise Superman. It was crazy. So here it is, go to the place. Man is not there. He went after lunch. Secretary says, I'm like, what? So here it is now. I'm with an attitude. I'm going on the bike. Slide right off of the entrance. Shake me up. The back tire. Because, you know, I'm a little vexed. Right? Okay. I'm coming out of the place, going up the road now on the freeway. You know, I did not strap in my helmet. So I'm trying to strap my helmet in with one hand. Little gust of wind shakes me and quakes me. Come to a light. My heart is pumping a million miles an hour. I'm strapping my helmet. I'm like, take it easy, bro. You'll be alright. Take it easy. I'm like, okay. Boom, take off. This place called Constitution Hill is about a little more than a quarter-mile stretch, you know. From a head of, you know, from a corner where there's major headquarters up, you know, the road, this place called Constitution Hill. You know, Constitution Hill, which, ironically, our camp, future camp, was right on the hill there. Knew nothing about. I would be a part of building that foundation. I'm going around, coming, I don't know how many miles an hour. I'm seeing cars slow. I'm starting passing them. I'm thinking that, yeah, these people too slow. And then I started thinking about Casey inside of the hospital. I'm freaking out while I'm riding this bike. And then I catch myself coming to that corner too fast. I start winding down, and I end up broken up on the side. Shattered kneecap, broken bone, broken leg, broken arm, broken collarbone, damaged nerves, concussion. Shattered helmet, you know. Paramedics came over me and they said, sir, well, first before that, uh, I woke up, to have them over me. And I saw them cutting my $100 silk pants, and I said, wow, so you cutting my 600, so you cutting my $100 pants, some nonsense like that, I said. And when I saw the paramedic's face, he said, son, for the type of condition you're in, you're lucky to be able to tell jokes. Something like that, he said. But it's a miracle that you could tell jokes. Something like that. I don't know. At that moment, I realized how messed up things were for me. And now I needed to rely on my brain for the rest of my life because my body was out. Family. And that's where we begin to understand that life is really a breath away from not being here anymore. And on that note, family, because Jah Rastafari, 1 hour just hit, and I would like to, for this first one, I like to really give it a proper season, because 1 hour give or take, we should call it 1 hour give or take. That accident, there made me go through some um, really spiritual experiences. At one point, they were moving me from a gurney, coming from X-ray, and they took me and they lift me up. They couldn't give me no kind of painkillers at the moment. So it was painful going from the gurney, from my bed to the gurney, and then back from the gurney to the bed. And the journey back to the bed from the gurney was the most excruciating pain I ever was triggered into. But the thing about it is that I didn't feel it, you know. It's like my body was taking out um, my spirit, was taken out of my body. And all I could hear is myself scream, but I couldn't feel any pain. Then my spirit just went in, almost like it went right back in when they finished putting me on the bed. And it's like the pain disappeared, and I was like, what? I looked at my mother was right there. This was in Puerto Rico. My mother was right there, and 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 oh my goodness, I saw her face was horrified, and I asked her, Ma, was I screaming? And she said, yeah, like you ain't hear yourself screaming. I did hear myself, but I didn't feel a thing, you know. And I remember telling my mom that I didn't feel a thing, So people wondered when the doctor there spoke to me, because we left from St. Croix with the accident happening to Puerto Rico, because the doctors in Puerto Rico, their idea of putting me back together was kind of like taking me apart. They wanted to take kneecap out and this, you know. So it would have been interesting, you know. So now Puerto Rico told me that they would not have to do anything like that. That they'll put me back together. And I said, Doc, I don't care what you do, just put me back together. That, that was my reply to the doctor when he said he could do it. And then I made a promise to the Almighty God. I said, God, don't take my arm and don't take my leg. And I promised to seek your face. At that time, I had no knowledge about the Bible. We weren't raised in the Bible per se like that. I never read it, or, might have heard of stories like that, but no, we were just good children, trying to do good, but then little evil, little, nice nasty, a nice nasty life, and that's the nice nasty life and sort of Babylon put in us and tell us that's freedom, and that's what come Emmanuel manifests itself now in this time to bring us to remembrance that we're higher than that. We got a higher purpose. And this higher purpose now come to fulfill its final work. This is the children of Nineveh. This is the children of the Queen of the South. And the Queen of the South, Empress Makeda, Candace, union with Solomon. That's the union of kings of Ethiopia. Look what Ethiopia is going through right now with the wars and rumors of wars. So Ethiopia is calling her children, but her children just can't leave like that. We need to centralize and organize, and that's what's happening right now. That's what we're doing these things, so we can trust each other, know who we are, why we come to this, our purpose, who choose us, who tell us what, who give us authority to do this, who he think he is. Well, we have to find out, and this is an attempt to give ones and ones the food necessary to find out, and let's go forward. Okay? So the Lord walks through people. He manifests himself through people. That doctor put me together, but it was the Father walking through him. It was the Most High walking through him. Giving him all the powers to put this goodie back together. Because that's what I asked him, as a young adult. I was what? 21 years old. 21. Was it? I was 21. Yes, 21 years old. 2021. Wow. Yeah, you'd think I'm like sitting down over on the side writing some script and thing like that there about all of this and saying, okay. The lovely thing about this life is that you cannot escape yourself. You can't escape it. You have your family witnessing, and neighbors witnessing, people witnessing, everybody witnessing, yourself witnessing. So how you can escape yourself? Much less everybody else. You see? So this is the reality of all of this. This is the coming to remembrance. This is the awakening. The great awakening is knowing that we have a job to do in controlling ourselves. That's the great awakening. We've been made out of control, and those that want to, that have us out of control, want to make us think that they can bring everything back into control. And they can't and won't, because that's not their purpose. Their purpose is to continue being what they're being and giving us our purpose. You see, our purpose is to build ourselves, right, from their purpose, because their purpose is white supremacy. They've had that against us for a long time. This is not a new thing since the Trump administration came up. This has been institutionalized, they say. So it was many administrations that hold this thing down. Mr. Barack Obama, with all due respect, my lord, congratulations on your accomplishments, my lord. But Honorable, come on, man. Come on, my lord. We should have had a connection to the continent for our children, black children in the West, to be able to have some type of exchange student program with our continent, right? You know, instead of military base in it, right? So this is the type of this is the type of balance that we're coming to now. True leaders coming now to demand for justice. And in order to be a leader, you have to come out of great tribulation, man. Many leaders have had to go through what, in order to be in those positions. What have you had to sacrifice in order to be in those leadership positions? So there's different sacrifice. God's government requires a sacrifice that, is not monetary. It is a internal sacrifice. It is a heartical sacrifice. Heart for our kingdom. That's why we keep our crown on our Facebook page, because it is a heartical, development, and what is that? Inborn concept. That's what this is. That inner understanding what's speaking to you, and then searching outside it where that, connection to what's speaking inside of you is. And once that connection is made, take it forevermore. And this is what this is, family. Family, the journey to take this, forevermore, is the most traumatic but the most wonderful one. And we'll continue, as we continue, because there's more to tell. And hours 11 minutes, 111, 1212, 345, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Let's seal it, and keep it for the next one. I'll take a break, and then we'll go into the next one, and then, we'll go again. Because it is an ever-living kingdom. We have much to do, much work to say. I have a lot of things to break down, but we'll try and just break them down within the hour. Okay, so 1212 family will take time, to be holy. For our Most High God, He is holy. Holy King Emmanuel the 7th, Adonia.